Good morning, everybody. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. It is Connor here. We're back here with another show. Listen, I want you all to go and follow my new account, everybody. We're going to be doing some sort of giveaway at some stage, but you need to be following the account. Subscribe to it. Connor McGilligan. We're talking all things Championship. Leeds will be included there as well when we're talking about summaries of predictions, of reviews, and all this sort of stuff. And obviously a little bit of transfer news and some stuff with content creators. Go check it out. It's going to be well worth it. Nearly on 2,400 subs, I think. So shout out to all of you who've checked it out already. Today, I wanted to speak about centre-backs. Interesting. I think it's a big week for Leeds. A very, very big week, and let me tell you why. Later on in this campaign, this week, we are going to be told whether or not Pascal Struijk is going to be out long-term. Now, so far, it's a 3-week jobby, all right? 3-week jobby, and he's back. However, Daniel Farker has said it might be long-term, dependent on the scans. Pascal apparently is going for scans later this week. Now, what does this mean long-term? Option A, Ethan Ampadu for the remainder of the season, if it is, long-term, which with Pascal we have seen before. We mentioned at the beginning of the window, Leeds they've got to figure this one out when it comes to Pascal, because he has these periods, 12 to 15 games where he's out, and that is a problem with Pascal, even though we all rate him so highly. Ethan, centre-back. So you've kind of just got your best central midfielder back, and then suddenly you're bombing him in centre-back. Okay? I don't mind Ethan at centre-back, but I don't like Ethan at centre-back either. I think he's okay. I think it's all right. I think it showed toward the back end of last season a little bit when he started to struggle a bit, though. I thought teams were a little bit more physical with him. That ball was being put into the box a lot more, if we remind ourselves of those games. And I do worry about him a little bit when it comes to that physical aspect. He's, 5'10". If teams start to do that a little bit more regularly and they start to see him as a weakness, which Sheffield Wednesday didn't do enough of, I think we saw even at the weekend against Sheffield Wednesday, we can look a little bit lapse at the back in comparison to what we have done when Pascal's back there. Pascal's been the best centre-back, in my opinion, in the division this season. And there's one player who comes maybe close in terms of ability, that is a Pascal Struijk. And I'm going to get onto him in a little bit and maybe whether or not Leeds would make a play for him. I don't think they will, but we'll get into it. But I do wonder what's going to happen with him. Now, at the weekend, I'd have been more than happy with Verber at left centre-back. I wanted him to start left centre-back. I think you have to have a left centre-back at left-back. I disagree with people who think a right-footed player, predominantly right-footed player, can play left-back. I think that is an opportunity for the opposition to press your first touch, and especially if you have an open body stance on your left side and you're playing predominantly to the left back, the left midfielder. If you're pressed on that left hand side and you have a weaker left foot than your right foot, there's a big problem there. So you're going to be pressed. The unit of the opposition is going to be focused a little bit more on that side because they know that with Leeds playing out from the back, Ethan Ampadu is going to be weaker on his left foot. Saw it last season. He's good with his left foot, better than most right footers with their left foot, but he's not got a great left foot. Okay? So if he's pressed on that left side, a lot like we saw at the weekend, which we've spoken about before on the channel, Sheffield Wednesday's right side identified Sam Byram's first touch as a moment of weakness. Sam Byram every single time had to this time be forced back inwards. We've spoke about it on the channel previously because he was pressed on his first touch and he can't use that left foot. Or he uses it and it's not great. So he's pressed on that touch immediately. Sheffield Wednesday pressed on that side as a unit. You could see it clear as day from inside the stadium. So that's going to start happening with Ethan Ampadu. Do I think Ethan Ampadu is an adequate centre-back? Yes. There's multiple conversations here. Pascal, though, is a big issue being out because he's the best centre-back at the club. He's definitely the best left-sided centre-back in the division by a country mile. So what do? Well, you have Verber there. I've mentioned this several times before, but there's something that's going on with Verber. Now, a little birdie has told me that he's still struggling to get fit. Still. And obviously, last week we made the video after video after video. We were looking at it, and even after, I've had a few conversations today, and they are worried about Struijk. They are worried about him. So if he's not going to utilise Verber at left centre-back, that's not going to happen. That's on the manager, by the way. If he's not going to use him at all at left centre-back to start games, and he prefers Ethan Ampadu, that for me could be adequate. But I can understand how people are a little bit like, oh, what's going to happen here? Now, the beauty of Leeds right now is Rothwell and Tanaka are a great centre midfield partnership. But what I didn't know last week was that if we are unlucky and Struijk's out for 3 months, let's say, or to the end of the season, there is a conversation there to be had of Leeds going and getting another left centre-back. Now, the one that I'd be looking at is Callum Doyle. On loan at Norwich right now. Man City, there's long-term availability there, according to the blue side of Manchester. However, Nathan Ake is injured and has been injured as of yesterday, long-term again, apparently. So you do wonder if they're going to recall Callum Doyle. I don't know. But he was surplus to requirements very recently. So he's an option. And he's the only option who it has a long-term benefit for Leeds United in terms of being in the Premier League. He's been at Coventry. He's had a superb season at Norwich. It's going to be a big fee, 10 to 15 million easy. But that could be an obligation. But then once again, the overarching issue we have right now that Sunderland, Sheffield United and Burnley don't have is if these players come into Leeds United, they're going to get minutes. Is Callum Doyle going to get minutes when Pascal is back in the Premier League? I don't think he will. You know? If a central attacking midfielder comes in, is he going to get minutes over Brendan Harrison? No, it's not going to happen. Is this is what I was mentioning yesterday, is a number 9 going to get minutes? Is he going to come in for a big fee? Because we all want a starting number 9 at Leeds United, and then you've got to think long-term as well. So you've got to get a starting number 9, and then long-term think as well of that number 9 in the Premier League. With the greatest of respect, you can't go out and get another Peru, because Peru ain't going to work in the Premier League. He's going to be a bench option. So you can't go out and get another Peru. So your identification has got to be top class right now if you're to go out and get a number 9. So, and the number 9 loans are just sparse at the minute because everybody wants them. So this is where it's difficult with Leeds. So I can understand the conversation of a left centre-back. I'm going to hold my horses a little bit by saying we need one, but the development that we've heard very recently of Struijk needing, him potentially being out long-term, do I think we can cover it with Ethan? I do, but the only reason I'm quite comfortable with that is because of the midfield pairing we've developed this season in Rothwell and Tanaka. Once again, excellent recruitment to have that as a pairing. And now Elia Gruev is there as well. Now, the real beauty of Elia Gruev being in there, and I think this is where Leeds might have a little bit of a tactical switch. If you do put Ethan Ampadu at left centre-back as a right footer, that is so more beneficial if Gruev's in the lineup. If Gruev, as a defensive midfielder, a left-footed, left-sided defensive midfielder, can overcompensate and almost play that sweeper role a little bit and can replace Ethan Ampadu's left foot in a sense. And Ampadu can give him the ball a little bit. Gruev can just sit between the centre-backs or go onto that left side of the centre-backs that we've seen, or just drop into that left-back zone and allow Junior Firpo to get forward a little bit. That could be very, very beneficial right now from a tactical imprint. You know, if Gruev's in the lineup, I don't mind Ampadu being at centre-back. However, there is that physicality aspect which we can talk about. The building up from the back, however, with Elia Gruev in there as a left-sided player in that midfield/defence, because we know he likes to drop back. I think that's where Farke's going to go because of Ampadu being at centre-back. Now, this could all be resolved by putting Verba at centre-back, left centre-back. But Verba has to be fit. And if he's still not fit, which is what I'm hearing, he keeps getting niggles. Leeds haven't got a left-sided centre-back then, you know? But once again, it all comes back round to Leeds still having the squad to do it, you know? So I came on here right now because I know there's a lot of chatter, there's a lot of natter. People say, Connor, you're not concerned. In certain elements, 100% if it's Pascal, definitely. Because Pascal, for me, is our best defender, and he's superb. And his numbers, again, this season have been top of the charts. And as a left centre-back, he's the best in the division. And we do suffer with his build-up. We do suffer with the physicality. We do. We 100% do. So him being out, you kind of want to replicate those attributes. Callum Doyle does that. He's an excellent ball player out from the back. He's quick. He offers something from set pieces. You know, almost like the Championship's Mickey van der Ven, if you will. I think he eats up ground very quickly as well. And he can play left back as well, which he has been playing for Norwich in large portions this season as well. It might be primarily as well. I can't profess to be watching Norwich week in, week out, but I know he was playing there against us. So, listen, it's a big week for Leeds. A big week, because if Pascal's out, let's say for a long period, let's hope that he's not, and it's 3 weeks, because 3 weeks we can deal with. We can deal with 3 weeks, no problem. But if it is an injury that is out for, let's say, the season, which we've seen with Pascal before, I think he has to start playing Max Verber or has to start playing Elia Gruev if Ampadu's playing. So if Ampadu's playing, I think he has to start Gruev, for me, in that centre-back role. If Ampadu's at that centre-back role, Gruev has to come in. But if he wants to stick with Ampadu in midfield, which rumours say that he does, he's going to have to put Verber back there, and I think Verber will cope. Listen, Verber's value at this level, everybody, is like 10 to 12 million quid. It's like third, fourth, fifth range when it comes to centre-back worth. We've rejected 10 million quid, so he's clearly a good player. Teams are still in for him as well. I'd be fine with putting Max there and Ethan back in the midfield, 100%. That's what I would do. But I'm trying to think of how the manager's going to go about this, and he's never going to put Verber at centre-back. So I would put an Ampadu back in, Verber back in, and that's where we have significant depth, in my opinion, 100%. But I'm trying to figure out how the manager's going to do this right now, and there's nowhere Verber's in. So Ampadu's going to stay at centre-back for me. But then you've got to really overcompensate. So you've got to replace Struijk's attributes in terms of our build-up. And I think you've got to do that through Elia Gruev. Guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below. The Leeds need a centre-back. Catch us tonight for the debrief. We're going 7 o'clock. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I'll see you in a bit.